picture. There's a bigger house called the land, the fatherland, and so we have to discourage identity, irredentist, tribalistic, ethnic, and hate speech, which goes along with this. Okay. We have to discourage this because these make it difficult for patriotism to be installed.
Okay.
Okay, I was trying to say something. During my experience in Cameroon, yes, when I started becoming conscious and enlightened about the socio-political happenings, it's true that I experienced Ahijo, but at a very short, because I was very relatively, I can't say anything by then, okay, but like I said, I can give you a vivid knowledge of the present president, President Paul Biya. I want to say that since I know President Paul Biya, I could barely witness the number of regions he has visited for the past 40 years, except for a particular political ceremony. Mean that type of regular visits, meet your people. Yes. He doesn't do that. For the past 40 years I've experienced President Paul Biya, he barely holds a press conference with Cameroonian journalists to talk with them and share views about the reality of Cameroon. I know why I am targeting the head, because if you see the reflection of the society of so many countries that you know, Korea, Germany, US, China, is a reflection of founding fathers, what they put in place. Or if not the founding fathers, either the second president comes in with something. When Lenin started in Russia, when Russia is today, he started with Lenin, later on Gorbachev, Khrushchev, and all of them created an impact before leaving. And how did they create? They had a continuity of what the former predecessor left to make sure that they first started. Since I know President Paul Biya, he barely welcomes his opponents to talk with. Like, of recent, since 2000, let us go of recent, since 2018, this is a crisis that has been plaguing. Like contrary to other political leaders where they gather all their compatriots and talk and have a talk with them, especially all the stakeholders that doesn't share the same view with him concerning certain issues. He doesn't do that. If he has to do that, he must dance to his tune and claim that you are either a majority and they ridicule you and become a laughing stock to the society. He doesn't do that. The only time you could hear, I am ashamed that he always portray it on Facebook, and CRTV makes it when he's welcoming foreigners. Cameroonians only know their president on Facebook and maybe on TV when he welcomes foreigners and talk with foreigners. I have never seen him. This is a political scientist where the president should post that this me talking with Professor Ervin Golengole, and he's giving sharing view on how we could resolve. He doesn't do that. All what he do is they send his people, they go there, they make propaganda and add the like. So what I'm trying to say here, Madam Emi, we are talking about what patriotism. Patriotism is not for the common man. The example should be copied at the head. All the ministers, in fact, there is a whole government sector. I'm happy for Professor Ervin Golengole that he was not on that dragnet, because I would have been visiting my father now in Kondingi. All of them. What example are you passing to the younger generation? You just talk about generation. If a child, my son is growing up, he hears that a minister of education, minister of this, minister of the prime minister, secretary, all of them embezzlement, up to date. There's another one that's still ongoing, the COVID-19, that I don't know, it's another topic on its own. What type of patriotism? Who is fooling who? Who has to show an example for the love of the country? And I don't blame them. I don't blame all those ministers. I don't blame all the directors that embezzle. The system is placed. Compel them. Why? Because there is no roadmap to have that for land. Because even the person that incarnates that institution, he himself always let Cameroon. Of recent, there was a national dialogue. The first country that the president visited, and he himself said, I'm not the one who. He said he has come to France to give an account to President Macron. Je suis venu en France pour rendre compte à le grand dialogue national. He's the one that said it. It is in France. Many of President Paul Biya's outing that Cameroonians could even benefit about their country is when he's out, where foreign journalists are able to ask him that question and he's able to answer. That's when we know that, is this what our president is planning about us? So you realize that when you incarnate that anti-patriotic spirit on your citizens, what do you expect the citizens to learn? All of them only having that conception that this is a person that he does not consult us for anything. His consultations are only done by foreign, the international community. And his ministers, they should what we call disassociation. Please, Prof, I know that when you are a minister, the only time that, if I am lying, you take Cameroonian. The only time that you shook hands with President Paul Biya is during the 20th May or what called New Year. New Year what? You take Cameroonian if he has been meeting. Has Mr. Biya ever held an interministerial council or meeting since he took over? Everything, either his prime minister, a man throughout his regime, he only said, we all got on the high instructions. On the high instructions. On the high instruction. That's how we are ruling. A country rule only by degree. There is no roadmap. Up to that, Cameroonians don't have any roadmap. And when you do that, what called patriotism, you must show us that this is what I have for you, Cameroonians. Follow this footstep. How can we be in a country where almost all our industries are being managed by foreigners? Cameroon, how many industries can Cameroon boast of that? It is managed by. We are talking now. We just made a topic on Kamwata. Kamwata has been privatized. And now, what I say is the Canadian or America, today is Canada, American, or I don't even know, but it's foreign. I mean, those are monopolies, are industries that should be monopolized, where the government, Camrai, is managed by Bolloré. Our ship, the terminal at the.
Now you saying that selling up.
That's what the banana industry. Those aspects, those are things
that the head do not love the country.
The patriotism that you are asking should not come from the common man. It is a roadmap set by a leader, where he puts in the educational sector. He has to structure in such a way that Cameroonians learn it right from school, right from primary school, right to the university. They have the feeling of patriotism. I started with our curriculum itself is very unpatriotic. When you teach your children the wrong history, it's already an unpatriotic lesson. When you tell students that Umnobe was a Maquisard, and next one was a Maquisard. Maquisard simply means synonymous to terrorists.
How do you term Cameroonians today?
When you distort history, where you tell Cameroonians that the plebiscite day is a youth day,
Jan Denis Kabe, can you give me an answer to this question? How do you term Cameroonians in the restive regions today, based on your acts, based on your positions, which they took with respect to the crisis which is sparring up and seem not to evade?
The Cameroonians that today we are talking about, those in the restive region, the northwest and the southwest.
How do you term them today?
Those are Cameroonians that they are even more patriotic than those of the other, the west, east of the Mongo. Because they willfully, madam, I'm coming.
Okay.
For people to willfully vote in the plebiscite to join their brothers, mean that they recognize for the reunification that we need to be as one. Okay. They are the most patriotic citizens, not those of the east of the Congo. I am coming down. What do you think about? I'm telling you that we must start from somewhere. I don't know me how to tackle issues.
What's the appellation you have?
The appellation are the most patriotic citizens because they have persevered for long.
You mean Ambazonians are patriotic citizens?
It's not an issue of Ambazonians. You are the one calling names for Ambazonians.
Okay, you are patriotic.
Professor, you are talking about the consequence and effect. I'm talking about the cause.
Those in the bushes and killing people.
The causes is depending on those who are pushed them to the bushes. And the people who are pushed them to the bushes, I'm not the one that pushed them. Maybe the arrogance of your regime pushed them to the bushes. I am not. So in 2000, Prof, since you want us from 1972, when you changed the form of the state from the Federal Republic to the unitary state, was there any guns? Were there any children boys in the bushes?
Well, there are guns.
Right up to 1996, when you people the Anglophone problem erupted, and you people says no, there should be a constitution that will rectify the Anglophone problem. Up to date, 25 years, we were unable to implement. Were there any boys in the bushes? Ask yourself why, right up.
So do you justify them being the bush and killing people?
2017.
Do you justify
Mandela was called a terrorist?
Do you justify killing people as being patriotic?
Do you know that Mandela was called a terrorist?
Why don't you answer the question?
Was Umnobelo called a terrorist? So were they not patriotic?
So today you say that those in the bushes are patriotic by being in the bushes.
They are very, very patriotic because they are patriotic.
I am very, very ashamed to hear this from a political leader.
Professor.
You are shooting yourself in the mouth.
They are still very patriotic, and I'll give you reasons. They are very, very patriotic. They are revendicating something. We might condemn their actions. I have never accepted kidnapping. I have made several declarations. I don't accept kidnapping. I will not even accept killings. That's why we accept killing in all forms. Military, Bamba boys, they can call them many names. I have never known them. I know as Cameroonians because they still use our France CFA. They still respect, they still use our identity cards. They are still Cameroonian, they still bear Cameroonian names, and they still believe that they are Cameroonians. And the only issue is that, as a matter of fact, the people living there are Cameroonian. They have never disturbed anybody that you are not a Cameroonian. Whether you are from Yaoundé, you go there, Francophones are there, and so forth. So there is no problem about that. The problem is that what they are, the patriotic citizens. You might be patriotic. Let me go. If I get angry, and because of I propose something to my father, and my father refused to listen, I keep on proposing, refuse to listen. Maybe in the course of me expressing my wish, I decide to take the television or whatever in the house, and I destroy that. But you must listen to me. You must listen to me. Doesn't mean I hate that home. I might become violent just because I want to call the attention of my father to listen to what I'm saying. But if he keeps on feeling that the only way for him to respond is to flog me, despite his, because I did not start by violence. I started by revendicating. Now, my action, my only call is attention.
Now, you breaking the television makes it violent.
Yes, of course. I don't do it to my own father when there was one time that they sent me away for
so
peace.
You justify
no.
The leader of a political party
one time I have not justified. I condemn
people.
I condemn
kidnapping people.
I condemn kidnapping. I condemn destroying, destruction.
And stopping the children from going to school.
Okay, you have not yet identified what pushed people to do that.
Wonderful.
Professor Ngolo, you are a father. You will never tell me that you are home. You have never had a child that has become violent because of your actions against the child.
There is no
so
society.
You call that child
there is no society.
Will you call that child a terrorist?
There is no society that is decent enough